We are diving into Elon Musk's recent call to King Charles to disband the UK Parliament over the handling of the grooming gang scandal. He's made multiple posts on X about this over the last few days. Here's an example of some of the things that he has said. It is my earnest hope that His Majesty considers this matter in the interest of his subjects. Now, before we dive into this controversy, let's understand why Musk is so fired up about this. Now, if you haven't heard of this before, the grooming gang scandals in the UK involved organized groups predominantly of British Pakistani descent, and they have systemically exploited children, mainly young girls, for sexual abuse. And this isn't a small issue. We are talking about thousands of victims over decades in towns like Oldham, Rotherham, Telford, and Rochdale. And the things these young girls experience are extremely graphic and terrifying. According to the Telegraph in the UK, these girls would experience gang rape by 5 or 6 men at a time while forcefully being silenced. They provide specific examples, like Lucy Lowe from Telford, who died at the age of 16 alongside her mother and sister when her abuser set fire to her home. She had given birth to her abuser's child when she was 14 and was pregnant when she died. But that's just one of many cases. According to the BBC, in 2012, 9 men were convicted in child sexual exploitation in Rochdale and Oldham, which included girls as young as 13. And honestly, not much has been done about it. A failed police investigation in 2008 allowed the abuse to go undetected for another 2 years. It was also revealed in court that a 15-year-old victim who became pregnant by one of the defendants went to the police in August of 2008. And after the verdicts, the GMP and the Crown Prosecution Service apologized for failing to bring her case to trial following her cry for help. Now let's dive into how the UK government has handled this, or failed to handle this. Keir Starmer, the current Prime Minister, was a director of public prosecutions during a lot of these events, and Musk has directly questioned his involvement, suggesting he was complicit in allowing these crimes to go unpunished. To go one step further, Safeguarding Minister Jess Phillips declined a Home Office-led inquiry into historical child exploitation in Oldham, suggesting that the local council should handle it instead. According to some news outlets, a public inquiry wasn't done because they were afraid of seeming racist. It was felt that some suspects weren't investigated because it would have been seen as politically incorrect. And it seems to have been cover-up after cover-up on all of these incidents. According to the BBC, in Rochdale, there was serious allegations of police misconduct, including failing to record crimes or protecting children, and in some instances labeling victims as co-conspirators. And the Telegraph writes that Maggie Oliver, the previous Greater Manchester police detective who helped uncover the widespread abuse in Rochdale, had zero faith that the Prime Minister would do anything to hold these people accountable. The Telegraph goes on to write that previous reports have been published into the failures of the police and local councils to prevent abuse in towns like Rotherham, Rochdale, and Telford, with officers and prosecutors avoiding taking action for fear of being called racist or Islamophobic. But Elon's critique of how the UK has handled this situation has been met with mixed reactions. On one hand, he is spotlighting a grave issue that many feel has been swept under the rug for too long. But on the other, his involvement has raised a lot of eyebrows, with some accusing him of meddling in foreign politics. But that poses the question, if someone like Musk, with his global influence, doesn't speak up, then who will?